Hello and welcome to this week. We are going to be going over April 2nd and all the news that happened between then and now. Let's get into it.
With the first pick in the 2018 NBA 2K League Draft, Mavs Gaming selects Artreo Boyd, aka Dimes, from Cleveland, Ohio.
I don't think I've covered this on the show yet, but the NBA 2K League had their official first inaugural draft this week. The NBA 2K League is an esport competition based around NBA 2K18, sponsored by the actual NBA. This past week, 17 of the total 30 NBA clubs held a draft to incorporate the esports into their clubs. Every one of the 17 teams has a new esports team name, such as Kingsguard Gaming, which is the esports version of the Sacramento Kings, whose GM is none other than the Big Quarterly Diesel, the Big Field General, the Big Shamrock, the Big Daddy, the Big Leprechaun, the Real Deal, LCL, Superman, the Big Conductor, the Big Agave, the Big Cactus, the Big Shactus, Dr. Shaq, Shaq Daddy, Osama Bin Shaq, the Big Banana, Shaq Fu, Mayor McShack, the Shaquille O'Neal. My take on this is that it's pretty good for both the NBA and esports in general. The NBA seems to be behind this 100%, seeing as Commissioner Adam Silver says he expects all 30 NBA teams to have their own 2K team within 3 years. And if you like basketball, check out this funny thing that happened to me while playing Far Cry the other day. And since we're on the topic of Far Cry 5, Far Cry 5 was released last week to record numbers for Ubisoft. Selling just under 5 million copies in 7 days, Ubisoft claims it has brought in more than $310 million. Far Cry 5's release is second only to The Division, which released in 2016. Far Cry 5 is the best-selling game in the Far Cry franchise. We got a lot of news about release dates for this fall and some surprise announcements along the way. First and foremost, we finally have a time for Marvel's Spider-Man. Set to release on September 7th, Insomniac has partnered with Game Informer to bring us a constant stream of information over the past week, including new gameplay clips, developer interviews, and 114 rapid-fire question and answer session with Insomniac head Brian Intihar. I actually haven't had the opportunity yet to check out all this information, but you can bet that's what I'm doing next. And since we're talking about Insomniac, in the same vein as Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon is getting his first 3 games remastered, officially titled Spyro Reignited Trilogy, and being produced by developer Toys for Bob, which is known for the incredibly popular game Skylanders, which is fitting because Spyro is already a collectible character in that game. Spyro Reignited Trilogy is set to release on PS4 and Xbox One on September 21st. Now, that's the 4th highly anticipated game that has been announced for a September release date, which is abnormal as most games come out closer to the holiday season in November. I think the obvious reason that these games are being released earlier in the year is because these companies are afraid of competing for market share against Red Dead Redemption 2, which is totally fair. Red Dead Redemption 2 is releasing on October 26th, which was positioned strategically by Rockstar to commandeer all of the November sales. In response to their announcement, Call of Duty Black Ops 4 moved their release date up a whole month from the usual, as we broke down in a previous episode. Now, September isn't a bad month to release a game. Just last year we had some large game releases in that window, but this fall is feeling incredibly crowded with all these releases so close to each other. And it's all because they're afraid to compete with Red Dead Redemption, and they should be. But what about Battlefield 2? It's been announced to come out this year, but there isn't a release date yet. Will it hold to its usual release window of October and try to find a place between Call of Duty and Red Dead Redemption? Or will it try to get as close to Black Friday as possible and release in mid-November? My money is on November 9th. That's 2 weeks after Red Dead and 2 weeks before Black Friday. We should expect a release date announcement from them soon. That's it for this week. Leave a comment below with your predicted Battlefield 2 release date, and we'll see if you're right next week. You can find us on Twitter at UPGamersPodcast. Subscribe if you like these kind of videos, and if you do, I'll see you next time. Peace.